Um, everybody talks like this, okay? Like they speak of them as though they're not even people. Also, and by the way, did you know that the world's predetermined and we're all destined? Or maybe it's just a monster. Ah, if you spend a lot of time on YouTube, which I used to and I still do to quite a lot, you may or may not, and if you're interested in political type YouTubers or any kind of political anything or anything commenting on culture or something, you'll hear something come up quite often, which is when people think about which I think I already brought this up in a previous video, but whatever it is, whatever Hollywood is, and I feel like I've brought this up so many times and I've never made a video about it. I can't believe I haven't. It was written down. I didn't get to it for the longest time, but here it is. It's the same way they talk about anything like big or something. I don't know. Whoops, I lied. I do know how to describe it. It's the same thing when they talk about any kind of corporate entity. It's the same as things get bigger. They think about it like it's I don't know how to describe what they're talking about because it is so foreign to me. Okay. But what I want to talk about is that the people who bring this up, when they talk about culture and Hollywood and celebrities and all that, the people who bring this up the most are like conservatives and conservative YouTubers and stuff, and they're also the people who say that the left, or well, that's what they say. Likes to see everything in like groups and like this terrorizing thing, okay? They are always rigging that up, okay? But they will not fail or check themselves when they look at celebrities and things and people, celebrities, okay? And they say, like they speak of them as though they're not even people. They speak of people there as though it's all this, which I'm not saying there's not any weird kind of elite behavior or anything, but you gotta remember that like these are people, okay? These are like people, single people who like have their own lives, okay? And it's not necessarily the case. Okay, did anybody watch Attack on Titan? Okay, I know I'm bringing this up a lot lately, but I'm obsessed even though I keep hearing that the ending is horrid, okay? And if the ending's anything like I heard, then I agree, it is horrid. But if you remember the scene between Aaron and Reiner and when they're talking, that is amazing. And ever since Aaron and them learn about the fact that other humans can be Titans and that there's people across the world who they never even knew about, it's constantly brought up over and over again since that realization that whether or not these people are the same as us. Because Aaron, in the beginning, is viewing that whole other side of the world as something inhuman. He's thinking of it as a monster. He says to Reiner, and I think it was Annie at the time, I don't know. He says, "You're not even human anymore." Okay, this is great stuff. Okay, but this is clearly people watch this and it's like it doesn't get through their thick heads. Okay, that like they get it and they like that. Okay, but they don't allow that idea. They don't allow it to repeat. They don't repeat the same logic. Like like I said, you consider the conservatives say all these things about what they view as the other side because that's what they're doing. Okay, and then they will not be consistent. They'll do the same thing, and so many. I don't even want to talk bad about conservatives because I'm not a political YouTuber. Okay, I am not. Okay, I talk about basically whatever I want, whenever I want. So I don't want to make this a political thing. This is a widespread thing. Okay, like that is what Attack on Titan is about primarily. Now it gets horrible at the end when it's if the ending was what I was told, then it gets horrible because it's saying that all that conversation about whether people in Marley was just like the Eldians or whatever they're called, okay? It's saying it didn't mean anything anyway. Like this is horrible, okay? I don't like it, but obviously, regardless of whether I'm not trying to, I don't want to hear any talk about whether or not Aaron was right, whether or not who's right and who's wrong in that story, okay? But generally, okay, the constant question is whether or not these people are the same, okay? And nobody, people see that in one circumstance, but they won't see it in another, okay? Like the Eldians will see that in their town, but for whatever reason, way out there, like you got to remember that like my favorite artists, okay, I was having this conversation with someone before and it's like I'm describing that these people are not in I don't have the word. I don't have the word. They're not in cahoots or something. And they're not all of them are not running around trying to prevent other people from making it or something. You know what I mean? When the conservatives talk about this, okay, and they do it with other things, they say big tech, like they're all one thing or something. I don't know, it seems like they forget that that's not actually possible. Like that's like there are differing opinions down there. Wherever there might be some consistency, there are differing opinions still. But that's not the way they talk about it. And I don't know, when you hear this kind of talk, it makes you think that it makes it seem so far away. If you believe it. Because I don't think I ever talked to anyone about entertainment, okay? And they don't say, like, I don't care what job it is. Heck, it's not even just entertainment, it's any job where there's a significant amount of money involved. Like, they all believe that I could do it and make no money. But once you talk about making a lot, okay, they start to doubt. They start to say, but it's controlled. It's controlled by the big man or something. And I'm like, who's the big man? Is it Ariana Grande? Is it Tate McRae? And then their actual reply would be, no, it's the corporate. And I said, so which individual in corporate? Is it all of them? Is it just the CEO? Is it the shareholders? Are the shareholders manipulating the CEO? Is the CEO in danger or something? I'm confused. What are you talking about? When you do that, oh my God, it's like a breath of fresh air. It should be, at least, because not only is it much more respectful to everybody, okay? Maybe that's not the word I wanted to use, but it's much more positive, much more realistic. The alternative is that you have to smooge somebody or whatever. I don't know if that was the right word, how people say it, but to get somewhere, which is not an actual alternative, if you will. Like, that would be, as I said in, I think it was the last video, out of the question. For a lot of people, that's out of the question. So all that's left after that is, oh, well, then I guess I have to do something I don't want to do, or give up, or who knows. But this is how these people talk about it. And these people have so many views. And it's not even just the conservatives, because they're not popping right now. They used to be popping. They're not popping so much, which is kind of strange, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe Ben Shapiro and all them, but not all the ones that were. Okay. Everybody talks like this. Okay. Not everybody. A lot of people. Okay. And it is not any way you want to think. Like, it's just not, okay? And even I'm guilty of this in some form, but like, I know people talk about how award shows are fake and celebrities are fake and LA is fake and this is fake and this place is fake also and that place is fake also. And by the way, did you know that the world's predetermined and we're all destined to be fake or something? Like, these things will not, these things cannot keep anyone doing anything ever. People even talk like that about YouTube now, but I don't think that was always the case when it was not as popular. People did not used to say um, that what's her name, Susan, is that the CEO or whatever? Is Susan's out to get ya? And by the way, PewDiePie's in league with Susan. Like, regardless of whether that's true or not, I'm sure that's true to some extent. Like, people take pictures with Susan, they know Susan. These things happen, but PewDiePie's still PewDiePie. Whatever it is that they're doing doesn't make them one or something. Like, this is very, like, that's very weird talk. But you hear that from, what's his name? Drama Alert guy? I can't remember his name. And a few other people. Like, they don't understand how they, like, they don't understand the platform they're using anymore, because there's no way, no one used to talk like this. But now, first of all, how do they talk? How do they, what do you call the YouTube scene? Okay, you call it the YouTube community. Okay, and you say to people you don't like, you shouldn't be in the YouTube community. This is mine, or something like, or ours, or whatever the fuck. Like, it's, there are like, there's like a, there are rules, terms of service and all that, but that's not even, like, you're not even involved in that. Like, and that should show you, like, this kind of talk is very ridiculous, very demotivating for a lot of people, because too many people talk like that, okay? Like, it's got to be removed from our speech, okay? Like, in all forms, it's got to be removed. You know, I complain that podcasts, which isn't true either. This isn't true, okay? But I would complain that all these popular podcasts all have the same guests, and it's like this revolving thing, okay? And I'm like, where's the interesting guests? Because I've seen these people a million times. And it's like and it's like people you know who are popular, they take breaks from interviewing and then they go back on the same shows or other shows, or some shows don't even exist anymore, but they're back and they're saying the same things. Um, but I shouldn't complain. I shouldn't be complaining about that because the drama alert guy complained about that. He's like, YouTube used to be so great. Now it's like this horrible thing. Like he watched all YouTube videos. Oh, please. There's always something out there, okay? And there are podcasts with guests you have never even seen before, okay? With some with 0 views, and if you don't go watch it, then they're gonna keep making 0 views, and maybe they'll even stop. Um, it just seems like a very weird thing to view, like people, okay? Because no one does that with the people in their lives. Like they don't. Well, maybe they do. I don't know, but maybe some people do. But generally, you like what you want to do is actually consider the person, like the person you know. Like you can't just couple a bunch of people together just because they happen to work in the same field or something, which is what people are referring to when they say Hollywood. Hollywood's done it again. Oh my God, Hollywood. It's pervasive in Hollywood, which ideas can be pervasive in Hollywood, but you gotta remember that it's not as the objectivists I watch say, a collective consciousness, okay? It's just like an agreed opinion, okay? Or the other day, I was watching a stream of two political YouTubers that I used to watch, okay? Back in the day, Destiny and none other than Lauren Southern, okay? And I don't know if it was like 3 hours or an hour, but either way, it's too long. They're having a conversation about something, okay? A series of tweets or something that she made. And I don't know if anybody else felt like this, but it was like they weren't getting to the gist of it. They weren't getting to the point because it's like, that's why they kept repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating, and Destiny would stop them and say, okay, this is going nowhere because we already addressed everything they're talking about. And for whatever reason, they're repeating it, repeating it, repeating it, which is probably why Lauren Southern decided to drink, because she knew this is about to go nowhere. But yeah, they did that forever. an hour or so. And I'm like, you guys, like, just because you changed tweets, okay, they were still arguing the same points, but I don't think they noticed or something, or maybe I don't know. Like, it's the same point. It's the same conversation. Now, I didn't necessarily agree or with a lot of the arguments made by either side. I would say that I don't think that it was like a conversation about how Lauren Southern has some kind of responsibility because she's got followers, which, by the way, it's complete nonsense. She definitely does not have any kind of responsibility to anybody. Just because if she got something wrong or did something wrong, unless it's like life-threatening or something, I don't even know why we're bringing it up. I mean, you could say she's wrong, probably in a tweet, but to argue that she should probably not make jokes because it might be misinterpreted or taken seriously, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. So I guess I would say that I'm on her side, but I didn't like the things she was saying in that video. I thought it was not getting to the point. Like I see this a lot in like debates and stuff. It seems like they're trying to appease the person that they're debating with or something, and it seemed like she was doing that. So, and I went off on a tangent, but